Hello students, today we are going to the next part of our SST chapter. In the last class we discussed about land resources, right? So hopefully you all have understood the land resource and you have gone through your books also. Today we are going to start with the next part, that is our water resource of the same chapter, geography. So let us start. Water is a renewable natural resource. Renewable means, what does the word renewable means? Renewable means that water can be reused again. We can reuse the water again. And it is also what? Natural resource. We are getting water from where? From nature. That's why water is known as renewable resource. Water is a natural resource also. At the same time, water is a renewable resource also. That means what? Renewable means, just for example, I'll give you, from water we can produce what? Electricity also. It's not that water is used only for drinking, right? The earth is known as a watery planet because 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water in oceans, seas and lakes. Now our earth is also known as watery planet. We all studied that our earth is known as blue planet, right? Before we used to study in GK, in our smaller classes, that our earth is known as blue planet. Now we came across a new term. What? Watery planet. That means our earth is also known as what? Watery planet. Watery planet means that, why it is called watery planet? Because 3/4 of the earth's surface, our earth's surface, 3/4 of it is covered with water. That's why it is called as watery planet. The earth is about Now, the earth is about 4.6 billion years old. Now, as we know, our earth is how many years old? Our earth is 4.6 billion years old. For about a billion years in the beginning, there was no water on the earth's surface. It was only when the earth's surface was covered with water that atmosphere formed. See the source of water. Now just see, many billions of years ago, what it was of the myth, that many geologists, they used to think what? They used to think that on earth there was no source of water. In name of water, what was it? Only the water which the atmosphere gave. That was the water. The earth was a complete piece of land. But it is not that. Many geologists, what they think, that before billions and billions of years ago, there was no water on the earth. Water came on the earth how? Due to the volcanic eruption. Many geologists, they think so. Many astronomers also, they think that what? They consider as comets formed of gaseous clouds which hits this primitive earth. So many astronomers and many geologists are of different views, but still no one has discovered how this water came on earth. But people think that. Now next, after formation of all the three of the domains of the earth, life was formed in the primitive oceans about 3.5 billion years ago. Now after all the three domains of earth means, what does the three domains of earth? Like lithosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. After we formed all the three domains of earth, life was formed in the primitive oceans about how many years ago? 3.5 billion years ago. In the earth history, the area under oceans has expanded and sunk several times depending on sea level. The ocean water is saline or salty. We say that, what does we come to know here? That ocean water is very salty. Saline means salty. It is neither fit for human consumption nor for the growth of terrestrial plants. Means ocean water, directly we cannot use ocean water for drinking, or neither we can use for what? For the growth of plants also. The lithosphere receives water from precipitations through the process of global hydrological cycle. The lithosphere receives water from precipitation. What does the word precipitation means? Rain. Okay. Through the process of global hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle means what? We have come across the term water cycle. Water cycle means what? Water evaporates. Water evaporates when we get too much of hot, right? When the sun shines very much, when it is too hot, what happens? Water evaporates from the sea. Then it becomes what? It becomes cloud. And after cloud, what happens? It start raining, right? For example, just I'll say you what is this water cycle. Water cycle also known as hydrological cycle. This we know this, right? Hydrological, you have got a new term, but in our lower classes we had studied as water cycle, as I explained you now. The water in ocean cycles to the atmosphere and land and back again. The water that falls on the ground is fresh water and accounts for about 2.7% of all water resources on the earth. Nearly 70% of this fresh water is found in the form of frozen ice sheets over Antarctica and glaciers on high mountains. Now, as hydrological cycle, what happens? As I told you, water evaporates and it forms clouds and it bursts and we get what? Rain. That rain water is what? Fresh water. Though it rises from sea or ocean, but the water which we get from rain, that is our fresh water. And what is the amount of fresh water on this earth? The amount of the fresh water on the earth is only how much? 2.7%. And nearly 70% of the fresh water on our earth is in the form of what? It is in the form of frozen ice sheet, means it is already in the form of ice over Antarctica and glaciers on the high mountains. Clear everyone? In this paragraph what we came to know? Three important points. What are they? That water is a renewable natural resource. Then we came to know that in our earth, what is the percentage of the fresh water? 2.7%. And nearly 70% of the fresh water is in the form of what? It is in the form of frozen ice sheets. Clear everyone? Now let's come to the next part. That is harnessing fresh water. Now what does the word harnessing means? Right? You all will be thinking, what does the word harnessing mean? As I told you, now see, what does this word harnessing means? Harnessing means harnessing fresh water, means we have to bring that fresh water that is used for, that can be effective for our use, that can be fit for our drinking, that can be fit for giving to plants, right? So let us see. Humans, all land animals, plants use fresh water only. Now see, we all human beings, in fact plants, animals, they all what they use? They use fresh water. They don't use ocean water, because ocean water is what? Salty, right? Human use it not only for drinking and washing, but also for irrigation and industrial purpose. We human beings use water only for drinking and washing? No. Water is used for what? Irrigation also, for agriculture purpose also, in fact for industrial purpose also. They build canals, dams and generate electricity with the help of falling water. We people, we build canals also, dams and generate electricity with the help of falling water. Due to rising population, there is a great demand for water. As we know, the population of the country is what? Increasing. So there is what? Shortage of water also. Nowadays what happened? One day water come, 2 days water doesn't come, right? Why? Because population is increasing and the demand of the water is also what? Increasing. But the percentage of our fresh water is what? Only 2.7% on this earth. So next topic is our latitudinal variations. It is interesting to note that the world's mostly densely populated areas also receives enough rains for their needs. We also know that densely populated area also receives enough rain as per their need. Between 20 degree to 40 degree latitudes in both hemispheres, evaporation exceeds precipitation. Therefore, these areas, along with those equatorial regions, have surplus precipitation. The areas where water is generally found in good measures include countries like Europe, South and East Asia, the Eastern USA. Means in these countries there is a good amount of rainfall. The dry areas include, means the dry areas means where the rainfall is very less. Major parts of the Central and West Asia, Central, Australia, North Africa and the Middle East. The arid region in northern hemisphere are Sahara, Arabian and Gobi Desert. Arid area means what? Where there is rainfall is what? Just for the name's sake, right? In the southern hemisphere, Atacama, Namibia, Kalahari and the West Australia are also examples of the arid parts of the earth. So, in this part, latitudinal variation means what? It is showing us that where the rainfall is more and where the rainfall is less and where the rainfall is very less, right? So we have find out where the rainfall is very good. We have find out the countries like Europe, Southeast Asia, the Eastern USA, and where the rainfall is less, not very less but less. That means Central and West Asia, Central Australia and North Africa and the Middle East. But the arid region means the where the rainfall is what? Just almost none, right? Very few, very less. They are what? Like desert area, Sahara, Arabian, Gobi Desert, Kalahari, Atacama. They all are what? Desert area. Clear, everyone? So now next our part is what? We will discuss about water quality. Water quality means what type of water it is, whether the quality is good or bad. So we are to discuss about water quality. Water has certain properties. In its pure form, it is an odorless and colorless liquid. Now, if the water is in the pure form, it will be what? Odorless. Odorless means no smell, and colorless, as water has no color. If the water is in its pure form, clear everyone? It easily gets contaminated with hundreds of different types of waste that affects its quality. Then water can get easily what? Easily contaminated. Water, we can easily contaminate water with different types of waste that affects its quality, and the quality of the water also can what? Degrade. It becomes saline but does not decompose easily. The water can become what? Salty, but it will not decompose. मतलब it will not be bad. वो खराब नहीं होगा. Therefore, this waste infuse diseases causing pathogens in water. Pathogens means what? Causing microorganisms. It creates different types of microorganisms in water. Pathogens means, okay, in water, and make it dangerous for human and even animal consumption. If the water is contaminated, then what happens? It creates what? Certain microorganisms in it, and if that water, that contaminated water, if it is consumed by human or animals, it is very dangerous for the life of human and animals also. So we should never drink bad water. We should always try to drink what? Pure form of water. Among the common waterborne diseases are cholera, dysentery, typhoid and amoeba infections. And common waterborne disease means the common diseases which are formed due to water. If the water is contaminated and if we drink it, what type of disease do we get? Disease like cholera, dysentery, typhoid or amoeba infections. Water pollution is today one of the main problems. It is responsible for water scarcity. Now water pollution. Nowadays water gets very easily polluted. Why it becomes so polluted easily? Why it is such a big problem now? Because now the water we are getting is what? We are getting very less amount of water nowadays. As I told you, population is growing day by day. So there is a scarcity of water. Besides, there are also problems of taking piped water to far-flung and scattered rural hamlets. In India, only 29% of families in rural areas get water. Now in India also, how many rural means what? Village area. How many families they get water? Only 29% of families get water. And in urban areas, they get how much water? Only 65% also the people who live in city, they get water in their home. Worldwide, less than 20% in the developing countries have access to clean drinking water. And different developing countries are also what? They are also trying to clean the drinking water. On account of population and regional variation, there is water scarcity in many regions of the world on account of population and regional variation. On account of population, you have understood that population is growing, and regional variation means due to the change in weather. There is a water scarcity in many regions of the world. Many parts of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, West USA, Northwest Mexico, South America, and the entire Australia are facing water scarcity. And these countries are what? They are facing lots of scarcity in water. So now our next part is conservation of water. So, water can be conserved and its quality improved at less expense than other resources. Some of the important purification and quality improvement techniques are, now see, water can be conserved. We can protect our water and its quality also we can improve at less expense. If we improve the quality of water, it is not very expensive. Clear? Like other resources, if we improve the quality or if we conserve them, it is very expensive also. But if we want to conserve water and if we want to improve the quality of the water, it is very less expensive as compared to other resources. Some of the important purification and quality improvement techniques are, so let us discuss what are those techniques. Number one, removing impurities. Now removing impurities means we have to remove the impurities from the water first. Now what are those impurities in the water? Let us discuss. Any odor or color in water is an impurity. Any type of smell or any type of color is there in water, that is called impurity, because we know if the water is pure, the water is going to be odorless and colorless, because the pure form of water what doesn't have smell also and doesn't have color also. So the first of all, what is impurity considered in water? The odor and color in the water. Depending on the type of impurity, this can be removed by filtration, distillation, boiling, treatment and recycling. Some of the common contaminants of water are lead, salt, iron and hydrocarbons. Now, impurities of the water can be removed through these few methods like filtration, distillation, boiling, treatment and recycling. Like filtration, everyone, before we drink water at our home, we used to filter it, right? Boiling, some people they used to boil the water, and like in our home also we use Pureit, right now, AquaGuard. These all are what? These all are filtration. They are also filtered. And most common contaminants means what are the most common things which are found in water, which contaminate water? They are what? Lead, salt, iron or hydrocarbons, right? Let us first discuss about filtration. Now, filtration. In this process, water is passed through a screen. Now, filtration, how the water is filtered? Water is passed through a screen like clothes, sand, charcoal or even specially made filter device to recover the solids or remove suspended particles. Most insoluble and hard impurities can be removed in this process. Now, what happens in filtration? Let me explain you. In filtration, what happens in water? When water comes from river or any sea, anywhere, right? Water has what? Hard impurities also, which does not dissolve in the water. That can be removed through what? Through if you put a cloth over it where water passes, that hard impurities will what? That will remain on the cloth. Or it can be sand also. If you pour sand, charcoal, if you place all these things and if you pass through the water, then what happens? That hard impurities like sticks, you can say like sticks, hard rocks, they all will be what? Separated from the water. From this process, from the process of filtration, what will be removed from the water? Insoluble and hard impurities can be removed in this process. So in filtration we can say what can be removed? We are talking here about what filter? The filters which are used at our home? No, we are talking about the big filters. Means like the river, water comes from the river and it goes to PHE, right? Where filtration process starts, where the purification process of water starts. That we are talking here about that filtration. Now next comes distillation. Now what is distillation? This process involves boiling the water and condensing pure steam, which then can be reused. This method is very effective and expensive. Many pesticides which are not biodegradable can be removed in this way. Distillation is also for desalination of pond and sea water. Distilled water is mostly used in hospitals. Now, distillation. This process is little expensive one. So, this process involves boiling the water. First, what is done? After filtration. After the water is filtered and hard impurities are removed from it. What the water is done? It is in the process of distillation, it is boiled. And condensing pure steam. After the water is boiled, what happened? Condensation comes out, right? Vapors come out. That vapors what? Again, when it cool downs, it becomes water. This method is very effective and expensive. And what happened? If you boil so much of water, it is going to be, no doubt, it is very effective because the whole water will be boiled and the purest form of water you are going to get it. And whatever pesticides it is present in that water, that can be removed also. If you boil the water, what happens? The germs will die and you will get the purest form of water. Basically, and in distillation process, what can be used? The water which is salty, you can remove the salt from the water also. And especially this distilled water are used where? In hospitals, and it is the purest form of water. Next, boiling. Boiling of drinking water supplies recommended for every household. It is also the method as boiling kills parasites and bacteria. Now boiling means boiling for drinking. We all know if we drink boiled water, what? Boiling of water supplied by pipes is recommended for every household. Boiling of water means is recommended. Whatever water we get through pipes and all, right? We all get supply water. It is always recommended that before using that supply water, we should always what? We should always boil the water at home and then we should drink it. Why? Because that boiling of water will kill the parasites and bacteria present in that water. Next, treatment. Water can be disinfected through treatment. Chlorination is the easy way of disinfecting drinking water. Chlorine is also used in swimming pools, ponds and water tanks. Now chlorine. Chlorine is also what? Chlorine, we can use this chlorine to clean the water. Chlorine is also a chemical, right? That is used to disinfect drinking water. If you pour chlorine, your water will become clear. But one thing, it is not written in your book, too much use of chlorine is also bad for our health. It causes us what? Headache, acidity problem. Next comes recycling. Now what is the recycling of water? Recycling is the long established process for purifying wastewater discharged by industries. Recycling of water means what? Means the water which is wasted by the industries and means जो पानी हम लोग in I am explaining it in Hindi so that you get easily explained, okay? Recycling means जो पानी इंडस्ट्री लोग, जैसे सपोज अभी इंडस्ट्री कोई भी इंडस्ट्री है कुछ सामान बना रही है, उसने पानी यूज किया, उसने वो पानी क्या किया? फेंक दिया, डिस्चार्ज कर दिया. वो डिस्चार्ज जो पानी हुआ वो पानी को फिर से रीयूज करना, उसको फिर से प्योरिफिकेशन फॉर्म में लाना, दैट इज कॉल्ड रिसाइकलिंग ऑफ वाटर. मतलब जो वेस्ट पानी हो गया था उसको फिर से प्योरीफाई करना, उसको वापस फ्रेश वाटर बनाना, दैट इज कॉल्ड व्हाट? Recycling of water. Though recycling generally refers to the reuse of resource, the process also involves purification. Though it is reuse of resource, it also involves what? Purification. We have to purify the water, then only we can reuse it. Without purification, we cannot use that recycled water. Understood? Next comes number 2 point. Our first was what? Removing impurities. We can remove impurities through how many processes? 5 processes we discussed. Filtration, distillation, boiling, treatment and recycling. Now next comes recharge of underground water. Now what is this recharge of underground water? Nowadays rain harvesting and check dams are used to recharge and enhance the groundwater table. It is the most effective method of meeting water needs. Water needs. It also it also means protections, preservation, efficient utilizations of. No, just a second. Okay, sorry student, I read out wrong. Nowadays, rainwater harvesting and check dams are used to recharge and enhance the underground water table. It is the most effective method of meeting water needs and preventing water shortage in the monsoon countries like India. Now, recharge of underground water means rain harvesting and check dams. Nowadays, what happened? There is a shortage of water. What people do to collect the people start collecting the rainwater. People what they dig long pits in the ground and they made a connection with the rainwater, and the rainwater falls in that pit and they can store the rainwater and they can use it afterwards. They can purify it also, and this will help us to face the shortage of water. Now other methods. All the above five processes involve purification, and conservation is more than purification. It also means protection, preservation and efficient utilization of water resource. We all know purification of water is needed. Everything is needed. When we can purify water? When only we have water. If we don't have water, then what will you purify? Right? Purification, filtration, they all are what? Everything is important. But for this what? You need to have water first. So we need to conserve our water. We need to protect our water so that we get a good amount of water. Then only we can use it. Some of the important conservation techniques are, what are the important conservation techniques through which we can preserve water? Improving vegetation cover by the planting trees, grass and even bushes help to check water surface and runoff. Preventing pollution. If we prevent pollution, then what? We can avoid contamination of water. Because what? Water, through pollution what? Water gets contaminated. Making legislations like banning pesticides in agriculture, using effective means of irrigations like sprinkler and for irrigation. Now, we should also avoid maximum, we should also avoid what? Pesticides used in agriculture also. Land, soil and water are interrelated in terms of their resource value. Now, land, soil or water, they are interrelated in terms of resources. There can be no soil without water. Now, there can be no land without water, no soil without water. If there is no water, then can there be soil? There will be no use of soil also, because you can't do anything without water. And rocks as essential components of land are needed for soil formation. This interrelationship enhance the resource value, and this their relationship, because if we have land and water, then only we can what? Make the use of land also, we can make the use of water. They are what? Closely interrelated among themselves. I hope students you all have understood this, right? I would like to tell you all that you go through this